Today I bring you a compilation of some of my favorite videos. Great to leave playing in the background while you work, or even to go to sleep with. We start with an extra passenger in a plane. The trick is, they appear mid-flight. The lightning and thunder had seemingly come out of nowhere. The sky had changed to purple, and seemingly now, to a shade of blood red. The plane took an unexpected dip. Odd, since they had only just reached cruising altitude. He heard the familiar sound of the PA system.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appear to have an extra passenger aboard. We are over our weight capacity and cannot maintain altitude. A passenger will have to be removed.
He looked around the plane. The passengers looked nervously from one to another, nobody willing to say what was now on all their minds. Somebody would have to be thrown off. He pulled open his shirt to reveal the orange jumpsuit underneath and his ID number. If they knew what a D-class was, he was sure to be the first one tossed out. Better keep that to himself, he thought. An orange jumpsuit was never a good thing to reveal. He awoke with a start. What happened? Had he fainted? His head hurt. He saw a man and woman yelling at each other. Angry passengers were yelling and pointing at each other. The cabin suddenly changed color and a siren rung out. He felt a gust of wind in his face. He stood up and looked towards where the wind had come from. A man stood at the cabin door. He had managed to somehow open it. That wasn't right. That should have been impossible. Not only that, but besides the wind, the cabin hadn't depressurized. He could still breathe. This was the SCP at work. The man was holding a boy by the shoulders now. He was going to throw him out. He got up and ran towards the door. Welcome back. Today I bring you SCP-3767, additional baggage fee. Please join my Patreon in the links.
What happened next?
Next? I don't remember really.
Did he throw the boy out?
I don't think so.
Come on, you must remember more than that. Did someone else get thrown out?
All I remember is landing. Like, everything just seemed fine.
He shrugged his shoulders. Klaus rubbed his chin.
You mentioned a lapse in memory.
Yeah, I guess I fainted or something.
That's when the camera stopped as well. Back to your cell for now. We'll let you know if there's anything else. You think he's telling the truth?
Yeah, he hasn't lied before.
Before? This is the first time we've used that D-class.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. This time, he didn't seem to be lying. Klaus looked closely at Chen, then smiled.
Right, exactly. He seems trustworthy. I mean, as far as a D-class can be trusted. Right, Chen?
Yeah, precisely. Never can trust those D-classes, eh?
Bring a sample from the flight and meet me at Pythia's.
Roger that.
I'm not sure. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Has there been any other signs?
Nothing obvious, but in hindsight, I'm starting to question it. I'm starting to question myself even. It was so long ago. Did I use Class D amnestics? Class F?
Perhaps it's just in your head. Your own guilty conscience.
Who's got a guilty conscience now? Klaus? Yeah, you definitely should. Don't think I've forgotten what you did to that kid. Or that guy with the tics.
Jen! Pythia and I were just, chatting. What the hell is that?
You asked for something from the plane?
Yeah, you know, a safety card or a napkin.
Bigger's better, right?
Never one for subtlety, dear Chen.
Look, you want me to take it back? Because I will, and you can all wait another hour for me to come back.
No, just bring it over here, please. It'll work just fine.
Well, that's more like it. He dragged the chair across the floor to Pythia.
You cretin! Can you be careful, please? You're scratching up my floors.
This is not your floor. Your floor is in there, with the dirt, the worms, and the deer poop everywhere. That's your floor.
Why do I bother? Just put it there.
Chen set the chair down in front of her.
All right, who's ready for a little plane ride?
They were on board the flight. From the looks of it, the announcement that a passenger would need to be removed had just been made. The passengers looked back and forth between each other. They saw the D-class sitting in his seat. The man behind him stood up and slammed the back of his laptop into the D-Class's head. He slumped over.
What did you do that for?
It wasn't on purpose. It was an accident.
Well done, you've killed him.
Don't be ridiculous. He'll be fine. Sir, are you okay?
He's unconscious, you fool.
Don't call me a fool. Anyway, well, I did us a favor, didn't I?
What?
You heard the announcement. Someone needs to get off. He looks as good as any.
Vile.
Well, how do you propose we decide then?
Decide? The whole idea is preposterous.
Then can you explain why we're descending? Someone needs to get off this plane, now.
The passengers looked at each other, no one willing to volunteer.
The announcement said an extra passenger is on board. Presumably, since we were able to take off and reach this height, they came on board mid-flight.
The male passenger nodded.
The SCP is already in effect. Clearly, nobody is questioning the absurdity of someone getting on the plane in mid-flight.
So, let's all take our seats. We'll have it narrowed down to 2 then.
The man nodded in agreement as everyone slowly sat down. He went to take his seat when he saw a small boy standing next to him.
Where's your seat, son?
The boy pointed at his seat.
That's my seat. Where's yours?
The boy looked blankly at him.
Are your parents on the flight?
The boy shook his head.
Well, looks like we found our culprit, haven't we?
The boy.
Trying to blame a child. Seems about right. I think you're the one that doesn't belong here.
Me? I'm the only one who is willing to even discuss this issue.
Yeah, good job at misdirection.
Don't you try to turn this around on me.
The other passengers started to stand up.
You just knocked that guy out. Why? Maybe because he knew the boy was here, and you just appeared? Anyone recognize this guy?
I don't remember seeing him during boarding.
The man looked nervously between the two, then rushed for the cabin door, dragging the boy along with him. The D-Class woke up. He threw the cabin door open.
Impossible. And no depressurization either.
He pulled the child in front of him.
It's the kid. It's not me.
The D-Class got up from his seat and ran towards the man and the boy, slamming into them and throwing them all to the ground. Another passenger came from behind and grabbed the door, pulling it shut.
Let's just all calm down.
Prepare for impact.
The D-Class got up and looked out the window. That doesn't make any sense. They landed. The D-Class is with us.
Let's go back to the office. I need to make so many inquiries. Thank you, Pythia.
Chen and Klaus rushed out of her room.
Commandeering a satellite. Okay. Let's check the flight path. No heat blooms.
What about the black box?
What about it?
You're looking for a missing flight, though the flight landed and is accounted for.
Correct.
No fires showing up along the flight path and surrounding areas.
Correct again.
So, let's check for the black box signal. Maybe something interesting will show up.
Fair enough.
Klaus entered the FAA tracking system.
Okay, so we got a signal from the airport, as expected.
Okay, but what's that?
It looks like an address conflict.
What's an address conflict?
It's what happens when two devices are sharing the same ID. We've got duplicate signals from two boxes, but from one supposedly unique ID.
Where's the second box located?
It's showing up in the mountains along the flight path. Re-aiming the satellite now.
Klaus focused the satellite onto the intended location, revealing a mostly intact plane identical to the plane that had landed.
On location, sir. Ready to enter the aircraft.
Proceed.
The agents entered the aircraft. It was dark and quiet. They turned on their flashlights and proceeded through the aircraft. Everyone was dead.
Sir, we found your man.
It was the D-Class. He was dead.
This just gets stranger and stranger.
You haven't seen the half of it, sir.
I don't get it. What happened to that kid?
That wasn't a kid. That was the SCP. He manifested onto the plane, or from the plane to be more exact. D-Class, are you ready? Lay down. I'm starting the scan now.
So it was the kid all along. The big guy was innocent.
Yes.
But if the kid was the SCP, and the whole plane went down, killing everyone on board, who landed at the airport? Floss pointed at the scan monitors.
Who or what?
SCP-3767 refers to an anomalous phenomenon that occurs on overbooked United Airlines flights from Newark, New Jersey to Houston, Texas. 3767 occurs approximately 20 minutes after the airplane reaches cruising altitude. The onset is indicated by a change in color of the sky, as it will appear to take on a dark shade of purple. This begins at the horizon and spreads upwards. Once the sky has changed colors entirely, the plane stops all translational movement and enters a slowed freefall. During this descent, the plane remains parallel to the ground, and the sky appears to glow red. At this point, a feminine voice with a British accent will speak through the plane's speaker system. This voice will declare that an extra passenger is on board and is weighing down the plane. The voice then states that this extra passenger must be removed in order for the plane to regain lift. Video procured during testing shows that an additional passenger is indeed on board. It is unknown at what point this individual appears. After an individual has been removed from the plane, freefall will cease and the pilot will return the plane to cruising altitude. Ejecting this individual from the plane does not cause the cabin to undergo decompression. As the plane ascends, the sky will return to its original color. Searches of the area where the ejected individual was predicted to land have failed to locate said individual. Passengers aboard the flight are able to recall the events that take place during 3767, but only when prompted. However, they are unable to comprehend the abnormality of the event. In 78% of recorded cases, the passengers collectively decide on an individual to remove, who is then ejected through the airlock. In 21% of cases, an individual removes themselves from the plane. See Addendum SCP-3767-1 for details on the remaining case. In 63% of cases, one passenger on the original manifest will be reported as missing after the event, despite the same number of people getting on and off the plane.
Humans are intelligent creatures, but beware mob mentality. Just because everyone else is saying one thing doesn't mean it's correct or that you have to go along with it.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell. Not an airline I'd like to fly. Next up is the birthday monkey. Trust me, it's one gift you don't want to receive.
Are you sure you must have this one? Please, how about this toy instead? I'm told it's very popular amongst the young children. Or perhaps this one? As you wish. But a warning, it is cursed. It was given to me many moons ago by a traveler, and has brought only pain and suffering. If you must have it, just be sure that no one who has a birthday is near it. 24 hours before or after. Heed my warning.
Welcome back. Today I bring you SCP-983, the Birthday Monkey. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my Patreon.
Happy birthday, son! I know it's a little early, but there was no way I was going to be able to hide these from you all night, right?
The boy nodded excitedly.
Now, don't rush through it. Be sure to read the cards and write down who gave you what, okay? There are gifts here from us, your grandparents, Bobby next door, and even Nanny Joyce.
The father set the toys down in front of the gleeful boy.
Happy birthday, buddy.
The boy smiled back as he tried to decide which present to open first. The boy looked at the assortment of gifts before him. Outside his door, Nanny Joyce walked past.
Now you behave yourself, you hear?
The boy frowned and nodded back slowly. He turned his attention back to the gifts before him. So much to choose from. Where to start? A ring-ding-ding, it's your birthday. How cute, he thought to himself. It was a little old-fashioned and vintage for his likes, but it sounded amazing nonetheless. The parents stood by the countertop, talking and drinking. Their son was growing up to be quite the thoughtful and kind little man. The past few years had been trying. Job terminations, a miscarriage, and moving to a new city had all taken their toll. And now, with a new baby on the way, they felt somewhat divided.
You know, you really shouldn't be drinking. Think about the baby.
She scoffed and looked away. He hoped the new child would turn things around for them. Despite their marriage difficulties, Nanny Joyce had been a blessing. God knows she already helped out so much, and with a new baby on the way, she'd be needed more than ever. They all looked up, startled. The sound had come from upstairs. They rushed towards the bedroom, dreading what could have happened. They threw the bedroom door open. All that remained of their son was a skeleton.
Oh dear God!
Birthday! Get me up to speed, Doc. What do we got?
I've only got the bare bones on this one, but it was enough for the higher-ups to send us out. A kid turned into a skeleton.
Any witnesses?
He was in his bedroom alone when it happened. Seemed he had only been alone for a few minutes.
Last person to see him alive?
The father.
How long ago did this go down?
About 2 hours ago. That's really all we have to go on. You ready to investigate, Watson?
Who?
Watson. Sherlock Holmes' assistant?
Did you just call me your assistant?
No, I mean, yes, but there was more about being Sherlock. Whatever, never mind.
The parents sat on the couch, the father clearly distraught. The mother sipped her glass of wine, seemingly either drunk or numb to the situation. Behind them stood the nanny, her eyes red from crying.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss. If it's all right, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Yes, of course.
I understand that you were the last person to see your son alive.
Yes.
Can you think of any reason someone would try to kill your son?
No, of course not. He was just a child. He was very sweet and kind to everyone who knew him.
I understand. Had there been any changes in his personality lately?
No, not really. Perhaps a little more withdrawn as of late. We've only recently moved here, but he's always been a bit shy.
I see. Any other changes in his or your life?
Well, I lost my job shortly before we moved. We had a miscarriage about a month ago, so Nanny Joyce has been helping out more than before. We also just found out we're pregnant again, but we hadn't had a chance to even tell him yet.
I see. What about strangers? Did he speak of anyone or come home with anything obscure?
No, I don't think so. What do you mean obscure things?
Items, out of the ordinary type things, like gifts?
Oh, well, it was his birthday today. He had a bunch of new toys.
His birthday? Where are these new toys?
In his bedroom.
Okay, please stay here while we have a look.
They stepped into the bedroom. The skeleton sat behind the toys, as if guarding them. Klaus looked over the various objects and items.
Anything look odd to you?
Nothing too weird, but that monkey does kind of stick out.
Right? It looks old. It doesn't fit in with anything else in here.
What's that? Chen pointed towards the black candy on the floor.
Don't touch it. Let's pack it up and take it back with us.
They came back into the living room.
We've taken some items from your son's room to investigate, as well as the body. It won't take long, so these men will keep you safe while we get to the bottom of this. I'll have to ask you to remain here until we return.
The father nodded his head. Klaus looked over the boy's skeleton, the other items they had taken from the house besides it. Any clues?
Not really, but perhaps a lead. The skeleton is, well, a skeleton. The toys haven't done anything strange, and there's that odd black candy.
Anything weird about it?
Well, that's just it. It's not testing for anything. Like it's not made of anything.
Anomalous.
Yeah, but what does it do?
Probably turns you into a skeleton?
Perhaps. Only one way to find out.
The door opened. A D-class stood behind it. Well, that confirms it, Sherlock.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
I'm thinking that candy came from the monkey?
It was near it and it didn't fit with the rest of the toys. That's probably our SCP.
Case closed, Dr. Holmes.
Not quite, Dr. Watson. We still don't know who done it.
Chen and Claus stood before the parents and their nanny once again.
Have you found anything?
We have some ideas.
Ideas? Really? Is that it? You can't just keep us locked up here, you know. These poor people need space to grieve. And so do I.
We'll have this wrapped up in a moment. Please have a seat. Do you know where this candy came from?
I think I saw it fall out of the monkey's bell when we found the skeleton.
Claus turned to Chen. Plan A?
Plan A, Watson.
Chen pulled a small, transparent bag from his pocket. Does this look familiar?
Looks like the candy's in the bedroom.
Correct. If you all wouldn't mind indulging us for a moment, we'd like you all to try one.
What for?
Please, it'll only further the investigation.
This is ridiculous.
Nonetheless, if you would, please.
Chen passed out the candies to the parents and the nanny. They each looked at the candy before them and around the room. It was an odd request, but what harm could it possibly do? The father went first, placing the candy in his mouth. His wife took another sip of her glass and without any reluctance tossed the candy into her mouth. Claus and Chen eyed them, looking for a reaction.
Now you please, Joyce.
Ridiculous. Fine.
She popped the candy into her mouth and chewed. She spat it out on the floor. Take her.
That's your son's killer.
Nanny Joyce? You're mistaken. She would never.
Oh, indeed I would. Look at yourselves. Hopeless. She's a drunk, you're unemployed, and now what? You want to add another child to this? Oh, sure. Nanny Joyce will just pick up the slack. If you weren't going to be responsible for this mess, then I sure as hell was.
Take her away.
I can't believe it.
I'm very sorry for your loss. Amnestics! These guys are going to give you a little shot just to calm your nerves. Another anomaly off the streets and into containment.
Quite an odd one.
When you have eliminated all the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
My dear Watson.
SCP-983 is a vintage mechanical monkey with a faded date located on the bottom of the left foot, placing its manufacture at some point in the 1940s by an unknown person or company. The monkey is dressed in the remains of what used to be a popular vest design for circus ringmasters. In the monkey's left hand, there is a lightly tarnished brass bell. In the right hand, the monkey holds a small brass striking rod. The monkey is capable of emitting speech and sound, although examination of the object has revealed no seams, screws, or openings that would indicate a method of disassembly. 983 is completely harmless and inert under most circumstances, and may be handled without special precautions, so long as the handler is not experiencing the 24-hour period considered the anniversary of their birth. Once 983 physically comes into contact with an individual on their birthday, it will spring to life and do a single backflip before raising its bell and singing a simple song. A ring-ding-ding, it's your birthday! 983 will sing this song once every 3 to 4 seconds, pausing only to ring its bell until the new owner has died or met the sing-along requirements. Each verse sung by 983 appears to age the owner of the item by what is estimated at 1 year. By singing along with 983, the owner may deactivate the monkey witch. It will ring its bell once and produce a single gumdrop-style candy from the bell. Test groups instructed to follow document 135R to the letter have verified that a perfect sing-along results in the production of crystal-clear candy with mildly luminescent qualities. A near-perfect sing-along produces the same candy, minus the luminescence. Both of these candy types have been verified as restoring any age lost by the consumer due to 983's song. However, the luminescent candy may also grant additional time and youth. Under absolutely no circumstances are black candies allowed to be consumed.
Never underestimate what people are capable of. Trust must be earned, but with it comes vigilance.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell. Happy birthday! Or not. Our next story is a sad one. Poor, poor little bird.
Did you see that? That ain't normal. Call it in.
The other officer went for his radio. They knew this was something else. No one's head was supposed to glow like that, kid or not. The boy clung to the banister as he watched them.
Just calm down, son. You have an injury. We're gonna get you some help.
He watched them blankly. His parents stood in the distance, unsure what to do. Someone call for backup?
Who the hell are you? We didn't request SWAT, or whatever unit you're from, and just how did you get here so fast?
We were monitoring the initial call. We were already en route when you radioed for backup. We'll take it from here. Please, go wait outside by the van. We've got some sedatives to calm your nerves. The policemen walked outside, a look of confusion on their faces.
Are you sure?
Don't worry, we're used to dealing with these situations. Hey Timothy, you want to come down here? He just stared back, wide-eyed, seemingly unable to understand what Chen was telling him. He pulled out a tranquilizer gun. Do you know what this is? We don't need to use this. If you'll just hop down and come with me. His face was blank. It didn't seem like he could understand him. Chen raised the gun.
No, he's just confused.
Don't worry, this won't hurt him. I promise. As Chen fired the gun, a bird came flying down the stairs. As it went past Chen's head and out the door, he caught sight of something on the back of its head. Anything turning up? Klaus was looking at the MRI scans displayed on the overhead screens.
Not really. It's looking pretty normal.
How about that bump on the back of his noggin?
There is a contusion there, but it seems to be healing, and we're not seeing any signs of long-term damage or anything anomalous.
Odd. The cops said they saw it glowing before I had them amnesticized.
Well, for the moment, I'm not seeing anything.
Klaus hit the receiver.
Thanks, Timothy. That'll be all for now. Agent, can you please take him back to his room? Coffee?
You buying?
Don't I always?
Lead the way, Doc. Chen stirred his coffee, seemingly deep in thought.
What is it?
Oh, something's just been bothering me.
Spill it.
The bird. I didn't see the boy's bruise doing anything weird, but I swear there's something strange about that bird.
A hunch.
More like a gut feeling.
Run with it. Let's find that bird.
Yeah, but how?
Check the surrounding areas. A bird like that sounds pretty rare.
Is this hat absolutely necessary?
We're looking for a bird. It's imperative that we blend in.
But we're not bird watchers. This is a public park.
I know. I just haven't had a chance to try out the new hats.
I've really got to get you out more. They surveyed the park, but so far, they hadn't been able to spot the bird. There, in the trees.
You sure?
Of course I'm not sure, but it looks the same.
Good enough. Let's go get it.
They walked cautiously towards where the bird was sitting.
Good birdie. Nice birdie. Uncle Klaus just wants to talk to you for a bit.
Uncle Klaus? Really?
You wouldn't get it, Chen. It's psychology. To capture the bird, you have to understand the bird. Be the bird. Get inside its head. Only then can you know how to actually catch the bird.
Oh, yes, Sensei. Be one with the bird. While you're doing that, I just became one with the tranquilizer dart.
Crude, but effective. Wrap him up. Can you say Klaus? Klaus. Klaus.
I really need to get you out more.
Just engaging with the subject.
Right. Did you find anything?
Have a look at this.
That looks almost identical to the bruise on the back of the boy's head.
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of link here. I'm gonna continue testing the bird, but we'll release the boy to his parents now.
You sure about that?
Yeah, we'll keep him under tight surveillance, but he seems to be acting normally now. The bruise on his head might have been the cause of the strange behavior. A little rest and it might resolve itself, but keep a close eye on things.
Roger that. Timmy seems to be fine, just a knock to the head. We'll check in again soon. Take care for now. Chen walked away from the house. First shift, you're on. Radio in if you see anything odd. Chen got onto the bike. He rolled up to the Foundation car park. As he dismounted from the bike, an agent came towards him.
Agent Chen, Dr. Klaus is waiting for you in holding cell C4. Good boy! How about a sunflower seed?
Is that what I rushed over here for?
Come here! Look at this!
Klaus pushed some wooden toys towards the bird. It kicked them away. Wow, that's amazing.
Not that, watch this!
He gave the bird a video game controller. It immediately started to manipulate the buttons.
Look closely. It's not just random. It seems to know how to use a controller.
So it watched the kid playing and copied him?
I don't think so. I've tried this a few times and there isn't a repetitive pattern. It's like he's trying to get it to work.
Have you tried anything else?
Slowly working my way down the list of objects.
The hours passed by as Klaus and Chen offered the bird different objects. They hadn't managed to deduce much, besides that it seemed to like typical objects a child would. This is getting nowhere.
Patience, Chen. Patience.
Yeah. What else is on the list? As he passed the clipboard and pencil to Chen, it slipped and fell to the table. The bird immediately moved towards the pencil, picking it up with his beak and feet. What's it doing?
It looks like it's writing something.
The bird moved back and forth, manipulating the pencil as well as it could. When it was done, it stepped back. Scrawled on the paper were the words, "Who are you?" Chen looked at Klaus in astonishment. Can birds do that?
I don't think so. My name is Klaus, and this is Chen. What's your name?
The bird went back to the paper and started scribbling again. Timmy, where am I? I won my mom. Klaus shot a look at Chen.
You're in a hospital. Can you just wait here for a moment? We'll be right back.
Klaus pulled Chen out of the room. What is it?
The bird. It said its name was Timmy.
What of it?
The boy from the house, his name is Timothy. Coincidence? I don't think so.
So, what does it mean?
I'm not sure. Let's take the bird back to the family and see if anything clicks.
They sat in the van, across the road from the house. Inside, they could see Timothy and his parents in the living room. The bird became immediately agitated.
Let him out.
It went for the pencil and paper and began to draw something. It was a picture of a young boy holding his parents' hands. Beneath the picture were the words, "Why am I a bird?"
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happened exactly.
It went back to the pencil, writing the words "Mom" and "Home" repeatedly. Timmy flew to the car window and looked out at his home, his parents and himself. He didn't understand what was happening, but all he wanted in the world was to be in there. To be in that house, with his parents. To be Timothy once again. Somewhere, deep inside, Timmy knew that would never happen again. Even if he could somehow become human again, these people, this foundation, they wouldn't allow something like him to be free. He gently raised a foot and drew something onto the fogged up glass, then flew back inside his cage and closed the door. SCP-1192 is a juvenile male gang cockatoo, a species normally native to Southeast Australia, approximately 33.5 centimeters in length. 1192 appears to be sapient and exhibits intelligence and common knowledge consistent with that of a human child between the ages of 6 and 8. 1192 is unusually disheveled as it appears to be unable or unwilling to preen itself, and has difficulty flying despite being essentially healthy and uninjured. Close examinations have shown a slight, healed-over contusion on the back of 1192's head, but no internal injury or damage was ever found. 1192 is contained in a dedicated aviary and is to be provided a diet of fruit, supplemented with protein and vitamin additives, as it refuses to consume seeds and insects that are a part of a normal diet for its species. 1192 is to be provided with several pencils and pages of paper to allow it to communicate. In the case that SCP-1192 becomes belligerent, mild sedatives may be introduced into its food and water supply under close veterinary supervision. The animals we live with in our homes aren't just pets. They're our family, and we are theirs. Never forget that, because one day they won't be there anymore. I dedicate this video to my African gray parrot. Rest in peace, old friend. As always, have a care, and remember to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, farewell. I do hope little Timmy finds some happiness. Indeed, with the next SCP, I hope we all do. Beware the Red God. What is this place? Where am I? The man stood in the street, seemingly talking to himself. His eyes were glazed over unnaturally. His arms extended to the sides of him, as if balancing himself on some precarious ledge. Oh God, what is that? He turned his head and pointed into the distance. A crowd started to slowly gather around him.
Hey! Hey! You okay?
Who's that? I hear you, but I can't see you.
What's going on? You need help?
It's like a dream, a nightmare, but too real. The wind and the smell, rotting, garbage, and death.
Do you need help?
I can't feel the ground. I can't feel anything. It's slippery. The man's body lifted into the air as he screamed and flailed, feet above the ground. He came crashing down with a dull thud. His body, broken and bent, as if he'd fallen thousands of feet. Roadkill.
What?
This guy looks like roadkill.
Well, not quite. He's more like a high-altitude impact. He's crushed.
Suicide?
Doesn't seem to be. Happened in front of a small group of people.
Which building?
That's just it. He was only feet off the ground.
Eh?
He floated feet off the ground as if he was falling, then hit the ground, causing significant trauma. Dead on impact.
That's odd. Any strange objects or encounters?
From what the bystanders said, he was just walking along and came to a stop. He reported seeing strange things.
Like a trance.
Except he was able to communicate with the people around him while he was in that dream state.
Seems like a pretty cold trail then.
Not quite. This isn't the first case we've heard about, and we have statements from a few other people who have experienced similar things. The kicker is, they're still alive.
I've picked up the subject. We're on our way back now.
So you said this doctor will be able to help me?
He's the best. He'll be able to get to the bottom of these dreams of yours.
Well, alright. I'm ready to try just about anything now. They're terrifying.
Good afternoon, Miss Rayleigh. Thank you for coming in.
This is a really odd place. It's a hospital, you say?
Yes, kind of a special government research hospital. Would you mind standing over there?
Kloss and the technician proceeded to place monitoring equipment on the lady.
When do the dreams start?
It's random, I think, but a few times a day.
All right, we'll just wait and see then.
An hour passed when Chen noticed the woman's eyes begin to go cloudy. Hey, Doc, take a look. Her blank eyes looked around the room.
Miss Rayleigh, are you in the dream world now?
Yes, I'm here again. It's oppressive. The air, the buildings, something terrible has happened here.
Can you describe what you see?
Buildings, massive metallic skyscrapers reaching kilometers into the sky. They're everywhere. They don't look like any city I've ever heard of.
Where are you amongst the buildings?
I'm on a platform, a suspension bridge. It's made of metal too. I can't see clearly and I can't feel anything, but this bridge is slippery.
That's what happened to that guy. He must have slipped and fell off the bridge in his dream.
Can you tell me what you see below?
I can't see the ground. It goes on forever. These buildings are enormous.
Please continue on.
Wait, I see something. I'm going to walk towards it.
Strange place.
It's a body. The smell, and it's crushed and broken. What is that? It's huge. I can't go on anymore. Please make it stop.
Okay, you can wake up now. It's over. You're safe.
It's so horrible. That place. There's something very wrong with it.
I understand. Thank you for coming in. You've helped us a lot. I'm gonna call another doctor in who'll give you something to calm you down.
That was pretty creepy.
I wonder what it is.
We need to find someone who's willing to go in, to go further and explore that tower.
One step ahead of you, there's a man in Australia who's volunteered to go further.
Great, let's bring him in.
Already on it. What's even better, he's an illustrator with an eidetic memory. Might be able to get some real details. Thank you for coming all this way.
No worries. Was keen to find out what all this means. And you guys have been treating me real well. First class flight, 5-star hotel, fantastic.
Glad to hear that. Okay, shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Time passed slowly, but yet nothing was happening. How long does this usually take?
Mate, if I knew you think we'd still be waiting around, it's random, but it'll happen.
Fair dinkum.
What?
Ignore him, please.
Moments later, the man's eyes began to cloud. Okay, it's starting.
I'm on a bridge. Seems metallic. Huge skyscrapers everywhere. Everything seems destroyed and run down. Kind of an end-of-the-world apocalyptic scenario. I can see in the distance the tower.
Is it far?
Not too far, no. Reckon I can get there before the dream ends. There are planes too, but they have like 6 wings. There's a fair few of them.
Please proceed.
He walked along the metal pathway. The further he went, the worse the smell was.
Oh, it's like decay and rot. Oh, it's awful. Oh, I see why now. Bodies. There are bodies everywhere. Twisted and bent. Split open, crushed. This is horrible. And the smell keeps getting worse.
How far is the tower now?
Not far, but I don't know if I can go any further.
Please, just a little further.
I'll try. I'm at the tower now, and it's getting worse than before. There's a spiral staircase going up, and I think there are paintings on the walls. The whole way up is piled with bodies. I think I'm gonna be sick.
I understand, but please keep going. That's why you're here.
Okay, just one time. I'm at the first painting. 3 figures. 2 have spears, and it looks like 2 planets above, where those planes I saw earlier. Beneath, some sort of people. They look happy, I guess, doing ordinary kind of stuff. Beneath them is some large blue figure, like a goddess. Mother Nature?
Understood. Please proceed to the next one.
The sky's now red, and those planes, are they crashing? Those people look like they're in pain, and these red figures, there are red lines coming from their heads. The smell is getting worse. No more bodies, but the smell is worse.
A little further, please.
The blue planets, they're now red, and one is broken. Everyone screaming. They're all red now. Beneath it, some kind of red monster. At the bottom, that blue goddess protecting a priestess?
That's very good. How many paintings remain?
Just 2, I think. Going to the next one. The goddess is protecting the priestess as she takes the children away, I think. They're leaving their home. The red creature is almost at the goddess now. I think they made it, but the goddess is left to fight the red. She's upside down. The red has her now. There's some sort of opening beneath her, and the red lines. They're going through it, and attaching to more people.
Very good. Continue to the last one, please.
Oh my god! No, it's not possible! It's not possible! Let me out! Let me out!
He came to, disorientated and confused. It's okay. You're safe. You're alive.
Take him to a room, get him something to calm his nerves. Come take a look at this. They're the drawings of what he experienced in the dream. You see this? They were a happy civilization under the nurture of their goddess. They built planes and explored nearby planets. But what they found was a malevolent god. It came back with them somehow. It poisoned, tortured, and killed everyone. The goddess tried to save them, so she protected and sent a savior with the children to find a new home. They opened some sort of portal and left the goddess behind on their dying world. She fought the Red as best she could, but succumbed to it. It seems like the Red found or created another portal to spread its evil.
What about the last picture?
It's coming through now. Oh my. Jen, get the amnestics here. Stat, you're gonna need to take a shot.
What? Why?
Just trust me, take the shot. I need to speak to Lucius.
Not again.
Sir, I need to speak with you urgently.
What is it, Klaus?
This SCP we've been researching, it's an info hazard. We thought these people were having dreams or were witnessing another dimension. Everything destroyed. A dark tower at the end of it all. Some unfathomable red evil came to this place and killed everything, including their deity who tried to save them. The tower was her message. She encrypted paintings on it. Paintings, because text explanations would trigger the info hazard. The drawings are safe, but this evil entity found a way out, a portal to Earth. It's coming, spreading through the human minds through dreams.
Who else knows about this?
Just Chen and me, and Chen is being amnesticized as we speak.
Fine.
Will this info hazard even affect you? I need you to document this before I amnesticize myself.
I'll handle it, but Klaus, amnestics don't work very well on you.
They don't?
No, it's a side effect of the process.
Wait, how many times before?
Never mind that now. Just come here and take a look at this. Kripke, I've got another job for you. SCP-3007, Object Class, Keter. SCP-3007-1 is a reoccurring hallucinogenic phenomenon, with new instances constantly emerging despite the Foundation's efforts at elimination. Currently, no method other than death has been proven effective in the prevention or discontinuation of SCP-3007-1. -2 are individuals experiencing 3007-1. The description of -3 is largely identical among subjects, but does not resemble any known place on Earth. Subjects are fully capable of physical movement, but report that they can only perceive reality through hearing and touch. As a result, subjects are capable of navigating -3, while also maintaining communication with unaffected individuals. Any trauma or injury obtained within the context of -1 will also manifest in subjects in reality. Sound originating from within -3 can clearly be perceived in reality within a 2-meter radius of -2.
Our thirst for knowledge is what advances our civilization, but sometimes it can lead us too far. Remember the old saying, curiosity killed the cat.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell. Mimetic Kill Agent activated. Don't ask about Klaus. I did what had to be done. These furs, on the other hand, are something that shouldn't be worn.
Adele, you'll never guess what I saw today out past the ridge. Adele?
He looked around the room, trying to spot his wife.
You home?
His ears heard a faint sound from the top of the stairs.
Adele?
They had decided to spend the long weekend at the hunting lodge in the Adirondack Mountains. It had been their go-to spot in earlier days, but as of late, they just hadn't had the time to make the drive.
Babe, is that you?
He saw something moving at the top of the stairs, but couldn't make out what it was.
I saw a fox out by the old path. Almost had it, too. Something spooked it, though. Adele? Come down. Stop being so creepy.
The figure in the shadows stepped forward, its teeth sharp and gleaming.
Is that a costume? Some sort of cosplay? Cut it out, Adele. This isn't funny.
The creature continued moving towards him, slowly walking down the staircase. The man stepped back until he reached the door.
Whatever you are, just stop right there.
He raised the shotgun and pointed it at the creature. It stopped and stared at him intently, breathing heavily. It crouched low to the ground.
Don't do it. I'm warning. Don't you do it.
It tilted its head, a look of confusion.
Adele, it's me, babe.
Why are we out here again?
Klaus. Sorry, mind was off somewhere again.
What's up with you lately? You've been acting really strange since that talk with Lucius.
What? It's nothing. What were you saying?
I asked why we're out here. Sounded like a wild animal attack. What's that got to do with us?
Well, it's that combined with sightings of a large animal and maulings in the area. Typical signs of a cryptid.
Is it Yeti time again?
You have an unhealthy fascination with furries.
No, I don't. You think I don't know about your cosplay?
What? Oh, look, we're here! Focus on work, Chen! Sheesh!
You boys from the SPC?
Close enough. Yes, we are.
What is this SPC thing anyway?
Oh, just a government agency. We work with Fish and Wildlife. You know, another department.
Okay, if you say so. Well, there's the body. It's a bit of a mess, but you can see the bite mark on the arm?
Oh yeah, that's a big one, eh? Bear?
Eh? Squirrel. That's a squirrel bite. Thought you were Fish and Wildlife.
Oh, he's new. My, cousins, brothers, daughters, kid. You know how it is, just doing a favor.
Right. Anyway, that's a squirrel bite. A big squirrel bite. I've never seen a squirrel that can do that.
So what? It's like a Olympic squirrel? He's jacked up?
Jacked up? This would be an 8-foot tall squirrel, buddy.
That's some squirrel.
Darn right. Bite your head off.
Where was it last spotted?
Follow me. You see that tree line over there?
Uh-huh.
It's not a sure thing, but it's been spotted a few times there.
All right. Appreciate the information, Sheriff.
You need anything else from my department?
No, you've been very helpful. My agent here will handle the rest.
You sure you don't want some, man? Not so sure that agent of yours even knows what a squirrel is.
I appreciate the offer, but we'll manage.
All right, then. Best of luck.
The hours passed by slowly. It was almost 3 a.m. now, and they hadn't seen much of anything. Doesn't know what a squirrel is. I'll show him what a squirrel is.
Relax. Just keep your eyes peeled for your squirrel yeti.
Just for the record, I love squirrels. They're cute, they're furry, they're...
Quiet! Look over there.
In the distance, something was moving in the tree line. That's not a squirrel. It's walking on 2 legs.
He said squirrel. You said yeti.
Oh, yeah. I got this. Chen lined up the tranquilizer gun, waiting for his shot as it moved between the trees. It stepped out of the shadows, taking the shot. The dart soared through the air, hitting the creature. It dropped to the ground.
Looks like you were both right.
What?
That's a squirrel and a yeti.
That is a furry.
Thank you.
So what did you find?
Seems you were pretty much spot on.
About?
It's a furry.
It is?
Well, yes, quite literally. It's some sort of hybrid human squirrel.
I don't even want to know how that happened.
Jeez, no, not like that. It's obviously not natural.
Oh, right.
Anyway, besides the DNA, I'm not seeing much else to explain how this happened.
Pythia?
Pythia.
Well, well, if it isn't my two favorite boys.
If it isn't my favorite, whatever you are.
Nice, very nice, Chen. Hope that didn't hurt your head.
I'll show you a hurt head.
Could you please have a look at this? It's a sample of fur we took from a recent SCP. Some kind of furry.
Alright, but if this is another Easter Bunny skip, we're going to be having words.
They were in the lodge. The woman opened the wardrobe. Inside was typical clothing to be expected for the weather and location. Some gowns, jackets, and pants. Among them were a number of full body-length furs with hoods. The lady moved them around, clearly impressed with what she was seeing. She took one of the furs out and studied it. This would be a nice fit. She slipped it on and looked at herself in the mirror. Very elegant. Almost immediately, something felt wrong. She felt a burning and ripping sensation tearing through her body. The fur, it was doing something to her. The pain was too much. She blacked out. Its eyes slowly opened. Confusion and pain seared through its body. It reached a hand up to grab the wardrobe door. What was this? The creature had a vague memory of itself, but it was slipping away. As each moment passed, it became more monster and less human. Within minutes, it would be completely feral. It pulled itself up, looking at its new form in the mirror. In the distance, a door slammed shut.
Adele, you'll never guess what I saw today out past the bridge.
It's the fur jackets. The wife found them in the lodge and it turned her into that squirrel abomination.
Called it. Furry.
Check the inventory. Those jackets should be locked up on site waiting for sorting.
Okay, you two hang tight. Give me 10 minutes. The latest fashions from furry tailors. I present you the fall season lineup.
How many do you have there?
Looks like 3?
Okay, plus the one which is the squirrel wife now. That matches what we just saw. Pythia, can you try to take a look at one of these? There might be some clues as to where they came from.
Of course. Let's have a look, shall we?
They were in the lodge once again. Someone was placing the fur coats into the wardrobe, his hands long and thin.
Do you see that? There was a 5th fur jacket that wasn't there when the wife opened the wardrobe.
The man closed the wardrobe doors. Behind him, someone sat, smoking a cigar. He turned around.
All done, sir. This should make quite an interesting experiment.
Was that who I think it was?
The master, Cyrus. We need to get back to the lodge and find that jacket before someone else does. Thank you, Pythia.
Good luck.
All right, you search the 2nd floor, and I'll search the 1st.
Roger that. As they opened the door, they were shocked to see a figure at the top of the stairs. Hey, who are you? What are you doing in here? The figure walked out of the shadows. Oh, damn. Too late. Looks like someone found the jacket already. Chen pulled out the dart gun.
Now, no need for that.
You can speak?
Why wouldn't I?
The fur jacket, you should be feral, more beast than man.
Ah, so it was you that stole our little experiment. Quite naughty. Alas, we've learned a lot in such a short period of time. Such a waste. That poor creature.
You're wearing the wolf fur.
Yes, and as you can see, we have much more control over the transformation now.
We? Who do you work for?
Oh, I think you know by now.
Cyrus. Where is he?
You've learned far too much already.
Chen raised his gun at the creature as it sprinted to the window. The shot rang out as he crashed through the glass. Damn it! They rushed outside, but there was nothing there but footprints going off into the forest. Missed.
Professor, we've just had another run-in with Cyrus. The fur jackets came from him.
Not quite. I know those fur jackets. They were locked up for a long time in the Foundation, but went missing years ago. We never did find out who made them, but I expect Cyrus merely stole them. Perhaps improved upon whatever animates them. You and Jen come back. There's nothing else to be done there for now, and you don't know if there are more of them in those hills. We can't afford to lose either of you. SCP-801, Object Class, Euclid. SCP-801 is a collection of 7 articles of fur clothing found inside a hunting lodge in the Adirondack Mountains. Attempts to trace the owner of the lodge were unsuccessful, though locals insisted that they had seen lights and heard gunshots in the area until recently. Foundation personnel discovered no further evidence of recent occupation. 801 includes a mink fur coat, a raccoon fur coat, a wolf fur coat, a squirrel fur coat, and a sable fur coat. Each coat is of full body length and includes a hood. Coats are lined with the same black silk, and none show any tag or washing instructions despite appearing to be machine assembled. Accompanying the coats are a pair of rabbit skin mittens and a pair of elk skin shoes. Donning any article of 801 begins a rapid change in the wearer. Subject begins by doubling over in pain as internal changes start, described variously as excruciating and burning. Within 2 minutes, subjects lose both coherent speech and the ability to stand upright. Although subjects may manage to remove the clothing before this stage, no halt in the process takes place. 3 minutes into the transition, subject demonstrates signs of extreme pain and fatigue. At this stage, subject begins shedding excess mass and tissue unneeded for the new form. At minute 5, the subject resembles its new form almost entirely. Extreme hair growth begins over the body, apparently interfering with the subject's upper dermal layers and resulting in expelling much blood from the body along with the newly grown hair. Upon completion of transition, subject will be extremely fatigued, but not docile, and care should be taken when caging or terminating test subjects. All iterations of 801 are to be kept in a metal locker on Foundation grounds. Don't accept gifts from strangers. Take the saying to heart and remember, it also applies to finding strange objects. You never know if it was lost or left, just for you. As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell. I hope you enjoyed this compilation. We'll be back soon with a fresh new video.